Hey, my name is Ralph and I'm a Flex Film. And this video today is about, why are my windows cloudy? So you just had your windows tinted and they look cloudy. Well, I want to make sure you understand this video is not about one reason they could be cloudy, which would be if the glue's still wet. Usually we're going to put the film on and we're going to use a water-based slip solution, and the glue is going to be wet, and it's not uncommon that when you get your car, the film's cloudy. That usually dries in hours and sometimes as long as a few days, and it depends probably on the temperature and where you park your car. This is after the tint job has had plenty of time to cure out and everything's dry, but everything still looks cloudy or hazy. And it even gets tricky sometimes because sometimes the windows look fine, but then sometimes they don't. Well, what you could be dealing with is probably low angle haze. And you're going to see low angle haze in our industry in different situations and different degrees. What I mean is that low angle haze is a haziness that occurs when the sun is low in the sky and sun's pretty much coming in directly, and it reflects off the little particles that are in the film. And the films that are going to typically have low angle haze are particle technology films. Dyed window films, you typically won't have this problem at all unless you've just installed them and the glue's still wet. Usually you'll see some carbon films that'll have this look and some ceramic films that'll have this look. Some of them are carbon and ceramic combined. But particle technologies, when they take like an element like carbon and they reduce it into small particles and mix it with a chemical, and they incorporate it in the construction of the window film through some sort of coating technology process, chemical dispersion. It doesn't matter. It's just that there's particles of carbon that give the film its color and the shade. The more carbon they put in, the darker it gets. And usually the more particles that are in the film, the more low angle haze it can have. In addition to the carbon, there's also ceramic. Now, ceramic also involves oxide materials that are particleized of very, very small size. The sizes of these particles are referred to as nano. And that means like nanometer is an increment of measurement that's probably one could use to measure the width of a molecule. So they say these particles are of tiny size. They're measured by nanometers, and therefore the term nano has been coined in our industry if you're using nanotechnology, and that refers to particle technology, and particle technology can be either carbon or ceramic. So if your film involves particle technologies, then there is a chance these films can have low angle haze. Depending on where the source of the technology, some companies or manufacturers have the ability to make the particles really, really, really small. Others don't make the particles so small, or maybe the particles are inconsistent. Sometimes particles can clump together. Basically, the smaller you get the particles, the less low angle haze you're going to have. And so, if you have, like I said, clumps or larger particles, you're going to have more low angle haze. A quick analogy that I have to describe low angle haze would be, maybe you wash your car and it's perfectly clean, and maybe you go through a quick rain and you don't even notice that your car's even really been affected by the rain until the sun gets real low, and where you did your windshield wipers is clean, but everywhere else the windshield wipers didn't touch and the sun's coming in, you can see it looks white. Again, there's contamination on the front windshield. It's not something you can typically see, but when the sun hits it, it reflects, it looks white, and it looks hazy. There's no difference between the particles on your front windshield in a sense and the particles that are in your film. If the sun comes in at a certain angle, it makes the film look hazy. And if you look at the film at another angle, it looks clear. This is called low angle haze, and this is what you may be seeing. Last but not least, I want to make something really clear. Low angle haze could be considered a problem, but in a way, it may not be a problem. I believe there's certain levels of low angle haze that's unacceptable, and there's certain levels of low angle haze that are acceptable. If you have a window film that blocks out or absorbs a lot of the solar energy, it may have a little look about it, or a glow or a haze, and that's probably because there's a technology present that's allowing the film to do the job that it's designed to do. And sometimes you can embrace that look, and it's not such a bad look. It just is a different look. Some are just, out of control and they're too much. But if you had a window film that was beautiful and clear and you liked the way it looked and it didn't have any low angle haze at all, it probably doesn't perform. So there is a trade-off there. There's a look that you may or may not like, but if that look's not there, you probably aren't getting any performance. So you got to consider that. It's almost like a t-shirt and a bulletproof vest. Hey, we may not like wearing bulletproof vests. They may be heavy, hot, stiff, whatever, but they have to be that way in order for them to stop a bullet. We can't just put on a t-shirt and expect our t-shirt to stop a bullet. I mean, I don't think they've invented t-shirts to stop bullets yet. I know they haven't invented window film that looks beautiful and clear, perfect, that stops a lot of solar energy. So the trade-off is real, and you have to understand the films, the technologies, and how they work, and if they're right for you, or if they're unacceptable and have too much low angle haze and you don't want to mess with them. But anyway, I just wanted to give you some perspective on what it was and help you make your decisions on which films you should use and which films you may not want to use. But anyway, I appreciate you watching the video. I hope this information's helped.